Hey everyone, it's me, that Retro Geek, and thank you for joining me for another YouTube video here on Retro Geek Gaming, where we mostly talk about gaming, more so than retroing geek stuff. But I do want to apologize for the lack of making videos. I try not to be redundant in myself and keep repeating over and over again, here's evidence of this, here's evidence of this. I try to give you something different. I don't want to just necessarily come out and always do the same stuff over and over again, even though I know that works for certain YouTube channels where they just do the same thing over and over again. Great success for them. I just don't want to be that. I want to try to bring you something different, so that way you have a reason to watch every single one of my videos instead of just saying, oh yeah, he's just going to talk about this again. I already know his opinion on it. And I kind of go back and forth on this topic, because we're going to talk about the Switch 2, which going forward I'm going to call the Nintendo Focus, because I really like that name. And also it makes a ton of sense. I can already see the logo being something that's blurred out, and then it goes in and it zooms in and it's focused. And you'll sort of understand, I think, a little bit more, like the idea of you're focusing between your play. If you want to play it more as a portable, you undock it, and now it's portable mode. You're focusing on portable mode. I know I said Switch 2 because then you can switch to tabletop. You can switch to portable. You can switch to VR. But I know that Nintendo is weary about keeping stuff the same name, because the last time that they did that was with this, the Wii U. And people were confused. They thought the Wii U gamepad was just an accessory to the Wii U. So maybe they want to get away from the Switch name and say, hey, this is a whole new console that happens to be backwards compatible. But even if they don't do backwards compatibility, because I understand the point of not having backwards compatibility, is because if you think about the Wii U and the fact that half of it was basically the Wii, to be able to read the discs and do emulation of it, think about how much more powerful and capable the Wii U could have been if they had dedicated 100% of that to new technology instead of continuing to try to use the same technology. So I think the workaround for that is digital, like the game cards themselves. Plus, does it really matter anymore? Like, the last time I stuck in Titanfall 2 into my Xbox Series X, it downloaded it, even though I had the physical disc. And it could have just read off the disc. It just installed it from the store. So, does it really matter? Make it digital. Make it to where your digital games are backwards compatible. And make it to where if you pop in a physical card, it just downloads the game anyway. And that's all it is. And the new games are either all digital, which I kind of feel like we're going towards that future anyway, or the game card is really just there to just sort of read the game, and it's only reads Switch to Focus games or whatever. But whatever they decide to call it, whatever you decide to call it, I had this weird idea, because again, I go back and forth on it. I get all kinds of weird ideas, and I feel like talking about it here, just to sort of see what sticks and what you all think. And hopefully this isn't going to be a long-winded video, because I know I've already taken up almost 5 minutes already. But the simple matter of the fact is that I brought this out because I was kind of thinking, what if they just did this? Like, I started thinking about the Switch Lite, and it's like, the Switch Lite kind of takes away the point of what they wanted to do with the Switch. The whole point of the Switch was you could either make it a completely portable system where the Joy-Cons stay on the side and it's 100% portable, or you can remove those Joy-Cons and dock it or play it in tabletop mode. So the Switch kind of removes that purpose, because it's 100% a portable. You can't, at least as far as I know, you can't switch. You can't dock it. You can't make it a tabletop. So that kind of made me think, what if they just did this again? What if they just took the Wii U, the Switch concept, moved all the brought back these cool analog sticks that are nice and thick, made it more symmetrical towards more like zoomed in and crunched in. I already like the idea again of saying like how, the L and the R shouldn't be so close together. The ZL, I'm used to saying like, R2 and stuff like that. but the ZL and the ZR and the L and the R aren't nearly as close, that they're a little bit more separated like they were on here, to where, you know, there's, you know, and again, the L can just be like right here, as an example. Just, that, you know, just a little bit more of a gap, or you can just simply set it like this, and then boom. And then if you're doing, you know, VR games, that's just a natural, like, grab kind of thing, where you're just instantly grabbing, you know. I've talked about that in another video, because I really like the way that the PlayStation VR 2's controllers are, with the R2 being on the side. It kind of feels like you're naturally gripping when you do both your fingers. But outside of that, I started to think, what if they just make it like a Switch Lite? But like the OLED, where it's a nice big screen, has a camera on it. Maybe the camera's over here on the side instead of in the middle, because the whole point of this sensor bar was for you to aim the Wii controller at it. You don't need that anymore because of the technology in the Switch. But otherwise, it keeps the home button, keeps the mic, keeps the power. Has little notification things down at the bottom. Like, I would love to see them actually use the light in the home screen, because the Switch's home screen... the Switch's home button has a light around it. And it's supposed to be used for notifications, but the only game that I know of that it uses that for is for Ring Fit. I don't know any other game that gives you a notification, so I'd love to see that come back to where, again, when I look down at my controller, if it's an orange light, I know I got a message from a friend. If it's a blue light, I know I got a message from Nintendo. If it's a green light, I know maybe a friend of mine's come online or something. I can just look real quick, and I can see, oh yeah, I got a notification. You know, even if it's just something that the light thing goes away, you know, I can understand them not wanting to use it a whole lot, because it probably takes into the battery life. I know it did with like the 3DS, but I still thought that was kind of a cool idea of having a notification light next to the power that lets you know, here's a notification. Even if they put that in the dock, I think that'd just be a nice little change. But the reason why I started thinking about this is because, hey, the Wii U was actually a cool concept. I really liked it. I know there was a lot of people that grabbed about it. They grabbed about the thickness of it. But personally, this is still kicking. Outside of an issue with the screen being tapped too much, my kids have dropped this and it still turns on. You know, you can probably hear parts shaking on the inside, but it still turns on. Whereas my Switch has been through all kinds of abuse, and it's not exactly in the best of conditions. It still turns on, it still works, it's still kicking. But the back of it doesn't look that great because of how many times it's been dropped and all that. But this also means that you can then focus on it 100%, Nintendo Focus, it 100% on being a portable if you want. Then this just docks in, and you use the existing Pro controllers that you already have, or the existing Joy-Con controllers that you already have, because I think that'd just be a great way to continue to sell those, something that Nintendo likes to do. We've seen that in the past, where they've taken GameCube controllers and reskinned them for Smash Brothers, even though they're the exact same GameCube controllers. And then, yeah, you just simply sync those. Do you have a set of Joy-Cons that you like? Like, I like my green set. Well, you just sync those. Little Bluetooth button on the back. Press that Bluetooth button, sync them to the Focus, and there you go. You continue to then play them, and that way you can then focus on playing with motion controls. Or if you're the kind of person that you like to just do like I do a lot, and I just grab the Pro controller and I play that way, you can focus on just playing it like a regular console. But if they also come out with the VR headset, like I think they are, you can then focus, because it's on your eyes, you're focusing on playing in VR. To me, it just works to call it the Nintendo Focus and for it to work like this. And I think that that's ultimately the final form factor that I want for it to be, is just a tablet-like controller that doesn't have Joy-Cons that undock, because they did that with the Switch Lite, but it just continues to use the regular controllers that you already have, so that way you don't have to necessarily go out and buy new ones. Now, do I think that they'll do that? No. I mean, Nintendo, at the end of the day, is a corporation, and just like Microsoft wants to continue to sell you accessories, Sony wants to continue to sell you accessories. That's the reason why they don't have stuff like the PS4 controller work with the PS5, because they want you to buy DualSense controllers. I'm sure Nintendo wants you to buy Nintendo Switch 2, Nintendo Switch Pro, Nintendo Focus is the name I'm going for, controllers. But that's why you just need to make it distinct enough. Because, see, Microsoft has their controllers. Their Xbox One controller works on Series X, and their Series X controller works on Xbox One. So you just have the Joy-Cons work on both. And even if you want to keep the Switch and you get the Focus Joy-Cons, maybe they bend, maybe they're thicker, maybe they have, the new analog stick like this. Whatever they do, they also can work for the Switch. I think that's the best thing to do, because then you get the best of both worlds. Maybe somebody doesn't like the small Joy-Con, the small analog sticks on the Joy-Cons. They want these nice thicker ones and the nice thicker controller. Rather than have to buy a third-party one, they can buy a Nintendo one. That's going to work. And it's going to be just fine. I also like the idea that I've seen of some people that they've made those little title cards or whatever that show it as just being a tablet that slides in. It's like a little thing. I thought that would be cool too. So that's another option they could do. They could easily have it to where the Focus is just like the backbone. And it's just a little thing that is a controller in itself that pulls apart. Maybe it has a little plastic part or whatever that holds it. And then you simply use that for portable mode. But then I thought about it, and it's like, but this works better, or the idea of this is the portable, and your smart device, whether that's a tablet or whether that's your phone, is able to use some kind of an accessory like that for off-TV play, like you could with the Wii U. Now, at the end of the day, I don't think that's going to be it, because, yeah, it'd be a great idea to do that and have it to where it's just like a GameCube and it's just a small little box that just plays games. And the portable factor is it goes through your smart device, but that requires a lot of cloud. That requires a lot of internet and Wi-Fi stuff that I'm sure Nintendo's probably not going to want to fiddle around with. Just because it's not a very reliable technology right now, even though it's a great technology. The whole purpose of the Switch is that you can just pop in the cartridge and take it with you anywhere. If I then have to go in and when I'm at a hotel on vacation, I have to connect to good Wi-Fi to then connect to my Switch, and I might get a semi-static connection that won't connect the best, and maybe the frame rate drops. I don't think it's going to be nearly as good. People are probably going to complain about that more than if it was just something that's just a portable on its own that just happens to dock. But that's my 2 cents. I kind of go back and forth on everything because, again, I like the idea of both. And if you could really just use your smartphone anyway, you might as well just use your smartphone like you could do in Everybody 1-2 Switch and just use your smartphone as a controller. So, yeah. At the end of the day, though, what do you guys think about this idea? Do you think this is something that could work? What do you think about the name Nintendo Focus? I'm starting to grow more on it. But at the end of the day, listen, I think that I've already said it before in a previous video, I think we're at the end of the Switch's life cycle. It's very apparent from the last Direct that we've had, and the fact that, basically in the last year or so of this console's life cycle, we're just getting a bunch of ports and maybe 1 or 2 new games here and there. That again are just Mario focused. But I also think that we're right there. I wouldn't be surprised, because we're almost in October, if November, December, or January or February, from the next 4 to 5 months, we know what the system is. We know what it's called. We know what it looks like. We have a good idea of exactly what it's going to do. And we're going to have a completely different conversation. That's why I'm saying this is going to be the last video that I think I'm going to do on this. And just unless we get drastic news, literally it's announced and we see it. Because at the end of the day, it's all speculation until Nintendo actually reveals it. But, yeah, I at least wanted to get you a video out there. Because I know that with my ADHD brain, I kind of intend to make a video and then I forget. And then also, just because I'm a family man, I focus more on gaming and watching my shows and stuff like that when I have the free time. And then when it's at night, I'm either working if I have to work, or I'm spending time with my family. So at the end of the day, my time is pulled a lot. I know that that's no excuse because there's other YouTubers that do that and make it work. But again, I just wanted to at least give you guys a video and see what you think about this. You know, feel free to sprinkle your thoughts down in the comments down below if you want. I'm probably going to go take a nap. I didn't get very much sleep last night. I got up super early this morning, so I probably look and sound tired. I feel tired. But I hope that you guys have yourself a wonderful rest of your week. And if I don't talk to you anytime soon, I do apologize again. But I'll see you in the next video either way. Have a good one.